Hello and welcome. My name's Marie and this is my yarn journey. Today is going to be a traditional podcast episode. I'm recording this a day earlier than I would normally, because I normally do it on a Friday now. But I'm off to the Woollygood Gathering tomorrow in Edinburgh and I am super excited. Me and my friend Mona are travelling down early in the morning on the train, and that's going to be a very exciting few days. We're meeting up with a few other knitters on the Saturday for lunch, which is going to be lovely as well. So, like I say, today is going to be a traditional podcast, and I have two finished objects, which I've got here. I've got 3 works in progress, and then I'm just going to talk to you about a couple possible future cast-ons. 2 of the works in progress are things that you haven't, all of the works in progress I don't think you've seen before, and 2 are brand new cast-ons. That's pretty exciting. So lots of new yarns to show you and stuff, which is nice. Okay, so the first project that I want to talk about is my sock tube. And if you haven't watched last week's video, I did post a follow along with me while I knit a sock tube, and I followed the Craft House Magic tutorial, which was amazing. Highly recommend it. So I will link it again below just in case you want to have a go at knitting your own sock tube. I'll probably be looking out for some skeins of yarn for the festival to be able to knit into sock tubes to try it again. Okay, so the sock tube is fully finished, and I did say at the end of that video that in my next podcast I would show the socks blocked, because I didn't manage to get them blocked before putting that video up on the channel. And I'm pleased to say that the blocking has really helped with the neatness on the bind off on the ribs. Still a little bit flared on this one, which is the one that I did the stretchy, Jenny's stretchy. So if you don't know what a sock tube is, basically you just knit a tube the size that you would normally do your socks to, which I did 64 stitches, and you just carry on knitting in a tube, do a cuff at either end, and then Ellie on her tutorial talks you through how to divide it up, and I got 2 pairs of socks from 100 gram skein of yarn, and then I used some scraps and minis for doing the additional added in after cuffs and toes. So like I was saying, I had a few problems with my bind off, because in general my bind off is very tight, and I'm working my way through trying to get solutions for that, and I know a few people have given me a few ideas, so thanks for that. This is the Jenny's stretchy. Now I've done it, when I did the Jenny's stretchy bind up, I'd found a tutorial on YouTube, and it gave you a hack to do it inside out so that you got a lovely finish on the top. This was, and if you go back and look at that previous video, you'll see that this was very wobbly and I was very unhappy with it. Now I haven't actually tried it on my foot to see if it holds a bit better than I was worried it was going to slip down, because it's quite loose, and it was very flared out and very wrinkly around the top, but I didn't want to wear them before I'd shown them blocked. Now if you look at the difference of the cuff for this one, this is actually the cast on edge, and my cast on edge it's lovely. It stays neat, but then it's got a lovely good stretch on it and goes over my foot no problem. I won't go into too much detail with these because obviously I have got that full video up on my channel, but I just did want to show you them blocked. Now this is on the blocker, but it's not that's another thing. If you look at this sock on this blocker, it is actually a bit loose in this part. Now I think this part of my blocker is a bit too narrow. So if anyone's got any suggestions for any good sock blockers, I did have some wooden ones, but I felt like they were catching on the yarn, so I wasn't really impressed with them. But this did enough to actually neaten up. Now these two bind offs for this pair of socks, I actually did a sewn bind off, but even one of them's gone very, very tight. It's this one, I think. I can only just about get them on and off my feet, which isn't pleasant really, but it's been a massive learning curve doing these socks. What I haven't done, and I've just realised now before I started recording, well, after I press record, is that I haven't written down any of my totals yet for my in and outs for these items that I've finished. So what I'll probably do is talk about that in my next podcast. I'll make a note to weigh them. Just get a bit of my coffee. Yeah, I didn't want to say too much about the sock tube because I have already done that full video. Okay, so my next finished object I am very, very excited about because I have knit this. If you don't want to see this yarn, I think it's being revealed, well, I'm posting this Friday, so it will have been revealed by the time I show this, but if you don't want to see the show yarn, the one that was part of the Kickstarter, then look away now. And I have knit the outline tee. I've not got it on, but I will post pictures. Now I've done the outline tee because I absolutely loved the look of it, the fit, the drape, and I didn't want to do the drop stitches, which I know that's the signature part of the design, but I just wanted to try it without, and I think it's turned out absolutely beautiful. This yarn is divine, and this is the show yarn for the Woolly Good Gathering. It's one of the show yarns, should I say. We got it as part of our goodie pack for buying the VIP weekend ticket, and it is 50% silk and 50% non-superwash merino wool. Lovely and soft, beautiful drape, perfect for summer, spring garments in my opinion. And I'll definitely be picking up some more at the show if I can get some in another colourway because I absolutely love it. I really enjoyed knitting this tee. I've knit a few of Jessie May design patterns before and they're really well written. I really enjoy doing them, easy to understand. This one is twisted rib. It's worked bottom up. I just love how neat the fabric is on this top. And this colourway, I wouldn't normally be a yellow top person, but it's just got that hint of yellow that looks really, really nice, and I think it's a lovely spring colour. Again, it's twisted rib. You just do a twisted rib, you pick up stitches to do that at the end. Yeah, and it was a lovely knit, went by pretty fast. I've managed to get it done in time for the show, which I'm really pleased about, although I'm not really sure the weather's going to be up for that one. But you did see this. I had cast this on in my last episode, but yeah, I can't wait to wear it, and I'll put some pictures up so that you can see what it looks like on. Oh, one thing to say about this is in the pattern, it's a cropped version, and that's knit to 8 inches from under the armhole, but then she does state in the pattern that you can knit it a little bit longer, and you can knit it to with an extra 5 inches. Now, I didn't want it cropped at all. I knew that, so I decided to go to the full length that she'd suggested. And with me not being familiar with bottom construction or how this yarn really was going to behave on blocking, and to be fair, I only had 2 skeins as well, so I wasn't sure if I was going to run out of yarn, and it was touch and go. I think I was probably left with about 8 grams or something out of my 2 skeins that I got. But like I say, I did it to that full, the longer length that she suggested in the pattern, which was 13 inches, and then managed to do it with the 2 skeins for my size. And when I've blocked it and I've tried it on, I've yet to, I can't remember if I've tried it on with jeans since I've blocked it, but I will, like I say, I'll take some photos of them and you can see it's definitely a very longer length. What I would say though is, so if I knit the pattern again, I'd definitely do it a little bit shorter than what I did do if I use the same yarn. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to maybe grow as much as it did, and it is longer than it, but because it's a lovely, as you can see, it's a lovely drapey fabric, I think it will be very nice and easy to be tucked in. So I'm thinking like with a skirt in the summer, something like that. Although styling my knits is something I definitely need. I need to work on. So I think I've told you everything about that one now. Like I say, I absolutely adore that yarn, and the pattern was great. I mean, it knit up so fast, and I think because it was bottom up and I had the excitement of a new knit in that big stockinette area, and obviously the drive of wanting to get it done for the show, I got through that quite well, whereas sometimes I think when I do it top down and I get to that point, it's I find it a bit more monotonous. Okay, yeah, I think I've covered everything with that. Right, what do I want to show you next? Okay, I think we'll do this one next. So, new cast on since last podcast. This is in a beautiful bag that I got at Yarn Day last year from the Cocoon Tree, which is Amy Palco's, is it her aunt or her sister? I can't remember, I think it's her aunt actually. Her bags are lovely. I hope she's at Yarndale again because I'll probably get another one. It's nice to have mementos from the show, isn't it? Okay, so let me see if I've got the ticket for this yarn. Oh yes, I have, but there's not much information on it, I don't think. This that I'm knitting here is a bag. Where I've put, oh, it's there. And I'm just going to get you the name of the bag because I was watching Kelly on Row and Cade's, and she was gifted from one of her friends a bag, a knitted bag, project bag, and instantly I was like, I really want to knit one of them, and I thought, what a way to use up those beautiful hand-dyed single skeins that are in stash and make yourself a project bag. So I put a message on, and she told me the name of the pattern. It's called Skrabucket, and it's by Theresia Lew, and I'll put the picture up on the side so that you can see what it looks like. I'm doing the larger size of the two, and just let me check. Sorry. iPad's not playing. Okay, so in the pattern she gives the instructions for 2 sizes. She gives it's a bucket bag with a drawstring closure, and you need eye cords for the drawstrings. She gives full instructions and has a tutorial video on how to do the what do you call it, the loop for the drawstring. In the smaller size you need 175 grams of fingering weight yarn, which you hold double, and in the larger size you need 235 grams. Now I'm doing the larger size. I'll show you the colour I've got here. This is Dystopia, not Dystopia, why am I saying Dystopia? Dystopic Fibre, and it's from the Advent. And I'll show you the skein. You can see it caked up. Beautiful. And I'm holding it double, like I said. And I think, yeah, my 4mm needles. You do shaping like, I presume it's very, very similar to the Musselburgh. I did attempt to do that once, but only did a small bit because I decided the yarn I was using wasn't suitable. Anyways, that's a bit of a tangent, but you do shaping in eight sections on the bottom, and then you do a pearl bump round. And now I'm just working up in stockinette for 40, I think it's 14 or 16 centimetres depending on which size you're doing. The thing about this is I thought this would be a perfect knit to take away with me to the festival this weekend, because it's just now stockinette in the round. A lot of the patterns that I have on the go, either they're on cones, so they're simple to knit but they're on cones, so I can't take them with me. And the next pattern I'm going to show you, I'm counting rows and I'm following a pattern, and it's on my iPad, which I don't really want to take my iPad when I'm out and about, so it's easier for me to have something like this that's just stockinette. The other colour that I'm going to be using is this, and this is Twink Knits. This one I got at Yarndale last year, and so when I run out of that one I'm just going to then add this one in. And I'm hoping, I'll show you these other 2 colours. These are 2 minis that came with this dystopic yarn. Why I can't say that today, I don't know. Probably all the excitement. Okay, so these are the 2 minis that came with that skein. And I'm hoping that either I will use these for the top edge or I'll use it for the drawstring. But we shall see when I get to that point. I do think the colours are knitting up lovely on here. It's, you know, it's just one of them yarns that's nice to use for something unique like this. I don't think there's anything else to tell you about this one. I mean, I did do it wrong the first time I cast it on. I ended up with 7 segments, and it's because I couldn't really read the knitting very well because of the yarn, and I've not really done that sort of construction before. So, but once I'd done it once and ripped back, I could easily read then where I should be doing my increases. But it is laid out very well in the pattern. I'll just get another bit of that brown. Going a bit cold now. Still drink it though. Right, so the next project, another new cast on that I'm going to show you, and it's in one of my Willow Bay box bags, which I absolutely love. This one is actually the perfect size for 2 at a time socks, but that's not what I'm going to show you today. I did talk about this on the other podcast, so can you guess what it is? Now it's going to be difficult to show you because it is bunched up quite a bit on the needles. This is the People shawl, and this is the one that I saw in Wool Needles Hands, one of her podcasts, and I'll just get you the name of the designer. Okay, so the People shawl is by Lyndsey K, and I'll put a picture on the side again so that you can see. It's basically a striped shawl. It's garter stitch for the darker section at the top here, and then it's stockinette in these sections, and I've already decreased quite some way, as you can see. So basically you do alternate these two colours striping, then I'll be adding in this yarn at the bottom edge, and then you pick up stitches all along the bottom edge, and I'm going to then finish off the border with this dark burgundy. So this yarn is the first colour that I'm doing, which is the garter sections, and that is this beautiful yarn, which is Ula and Leah, and this is 100% yak wool from free range yaks in Mongolia. It is 393 meters in 100 grams, and it's a fingering weight yarn. It's lovely to knit with. It's very hard to describe it, but it's really soft. It's not rustic at all, but it's not soft in the same way that the one with the silk is. It's just squishy, lovely and squishy and lovely to knit with. Doesn't slip about too much on your needles. It'll be interesting to see how it actually blocks. The second yarn, I'll just see if I can get my little tag out. This is one that I got from Yarndale. I'll show you the skein. Beautiful colours. Goes so nice together. It's like they were made for each other. This is by the Yarn Badger, and this is Peach Dream, and it is a sock yarn. So it's 25% nylon and 75% merino. It's actually a sport weight, but I thought it would work fine for this shawl, and it really show off the colours, which I am pretty pleased with how it's turning out. But like I say, it's very difficult to show you on screen, and I hope you get to see the true colours. But yeah, very easy to knit on everything, but like I say, I don't want to take it away with me this weekend, because knowing me, I'd lose count on the rows and then it would just look really obvious, and you know, because I'm just going to be so distracted. And this yarn that I'm going to be adding in at the bottom, this is super soft. This is one that I got in a wool swap, and this is Fibre Optic yarns, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon, 381 meters per 100 grams, and it's oatmeal, I think is the colourway. I really am enjoying knitting this, and it's literally one of those that's just been a impulsive cast on, because I just saw it and I thought, yes, what a nice way to use up some of my lovely single skeins I've got. There isn't many shawls that I've yet been drawn to, although I have had some recommendations for a Stephen West shawl, and I'll just tell you what that is, because I I'll probably pop a picture up at the side here. I have four skeins from Blue Fern Yarns, that is, or fibres, I always get mixed up whether they're called fibres or yarns, and it's her 4 weekly advent, and it was a fade. Beautiful, beautiful colours. And then I also got the Christmas Day skein, so I've got 5 skeins. And I have had a recommendation, and it's for a shawl by Stephen West, and I'll just get you the name of that. I know I've got it on my queue on Ravelry, you see. It's Glittering Snowscape Shawl. Now that would be quite ambitious if I did decide to do that with the yarn, but I'm still open for suggestions, but that's rating top at the moment. Although it's not something that I'm going to cast on immediately. I've got quite a few other things on the go that I want to get done before I do that, but I think that's the one that's caught my eye the most, and it's really beautiful. But I've not done much lace, and it is something that I want to try and get a bit better at reading the lace as well, because that's what I find hard with lace work. I can't always I don't always notice if there's something gone wrong in the lace work until I've done quite a big chunk, and then I'm like, it doesn't look like it's supposed to, but I don't know where I've gone wrong. So yeah, that will be a nice one to try. Just pop this away now. Now the last whip that I want to show you is an old one. It's one that I cast on July last year when I went away to the north at Broads, and it is a Lily Kate Francis pattern. I'll just see if I can show you the front of this with all my scribbles on. I printed the pattern out because I took it away with me. Just find it. Sorry, I'll just find a good picture on here. I will put one up at the side as well. There you go. You can see it. You can see it quite well on here. Now, in this version that's on the pattern, she does do it a striped. On her most recent photos, she's done a yellow version, and so it's all yellow and it's beautiful, and that's what drew me to it. Now I'm doing it in a fibre for the people yarn, and it's I think it's 50-50 cotton wool. This yarn is absolutely beautiful. Now I have got, like I say, I started this in July last year. Picked it up not so long ago and hardly remember. Well, I picked it up this week, sorry, so that I could possibly take this away with me, because I knew I was at the point where I was knitting in the round. It's top down. Just show you there. It's knitting up absolutely beautiful. I've not alternated my skeins. I've literally just knit it. I had 2 skeins of this, I think, and I'm on my second one now. I do need to try knitting the lace soon, but what I've realised is, I knew when I started this that I was off gauge. I think the gauge is 20, let me just have a look on here. The gauge is 24 stitches, and I've actually got 30 stitches per the 10 centimetres. And I did know that when I started it, and I calculated everything, but what I didn't take into consideration is that it will affect the lace. So because I'm doing size 7, and I think I would normally be a size 4 or 5 in this particular pattern, when I do the lace it is going to be a lot tighter and a lot smaller and intricate. So I'm sure it'll still look nice, but I hadn't considered that when I decided to stick with the fabric at that point. But I was quite new back to knitting. I'd only been knitting, and it was the first summer of knitting summer tops, so I think I used Wool Needle Hand's video tutorial that helps you work out the maths of how to decide what size to do. So I had done that, which I was quite pleased about, but like I say, yeah, I hadn't considered the lace. Otherwise, this is going to be like a super drapey, super light, lovely top once it's finished. And I'm looking forward to having the finished garment. I think, again, it was one of them. It's, 30 stitch gauge is, takes a while. Each row takes quite some time. So I think I just got to the point where I'd got a little bit bored of doing all the stockinette in the round. That's how far I am at the moment. And I think at some point soon, because I'm just about to, this is what I've got left on my first skein. So I think at some point next week I will crack on and try and do some of the lace sections, because you actually, well, for the neckline anyway, you knit the lace separate, so that's going to be quite interesting. But this is potentially one that I thought I might take to the show, but I might just end up taking just the one thing, because I've got quite a bit to do on it. So, and I don't really know how much knitting I will actually get done, because we are going to be quite busy. Okay, so that's all that I've been working on in the last couple of weeks. Like I say, the first week after the podcast, I was pretty much exclusively working on the top that I finished, the outline tee. And then this last week, yeah, and the socks as well, once I've finished the top, because that didn't take me too long. So obviously this weekend I'll be going to the show, so these plans may change, but I just thought I'd talk about what I'm thinking of casting on in the not too distant future. So I've pulled out two t-shirt quantities, because I'm very much in the mindset of summer knits and t-shirt phase at the moment. The first one I want to show you, and they are falling to bits a bit, but I'll try and show you. This is what I got at Yarndale, and I'm doing the Tea of Dreams with this, and it is Belt Fusion. The colourway is Void, and it's 50% baby camel and 50% silk, beautifully soft, 533 meters for 100 grams. Beautiful. Look, see how drapey that is. And I'll just tell you, because I can't remember her name. It is by Claire Jackson, which is perfectly knotted. And the interesting thing about this particular tee is that it's knit flat, which when I was knitting years ago, that was mainly what I was used to doing. I didn't really knit anything in the round, it was all flat and seamed together. Now, I've not done any seaming, I don't think, since I've been back knitting, but I am looking forward to giving that a try, and I think that yarn that I've bought is going to be wonderful for that, nice and drapey, and you can have quite a deep V, and the V's at the back and the front. So hopefully I'll be, and you can choose the depth of your V, because you're seaming the two panels together. So I'm looking forward to trying that garment out and seeing how it all works out. The next one that I want to show you, and I have shown this recently on one of the podcasts. I think it was my first podcast actually, or my second. It was an acquisition, and this is My Creative Garage. Colourway is called Sequins, and it's 75% merino and 25% nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams fingering weight. And this one I am thinking of making a tee from Lily Kate Francis. and it is called, okay, it's called the Feels Right Tee. She's just re-knit it because the first time she knit that t-shirt she did it with a stripe across, and she's now just done a dark blue version, and it does look lovely. So I'm hoping with 3 skeins of this I'll have plenty to do that t-shirt. And I have made a few tentative plans for what I want to get yarn for at the show. I definitely want to get some more of this yarn if I can in another colourway, because I've really enjoyed knitting it. It was such a pleasure, and it's lovely for tops for this time of year. Then I have written down a few different tops that I want to potentially look for yarn for, but you don't know. The Faye Summer Top by Irene Lynn, which would be quite an ambitious knit for me. I'll put the picture here. It's a very textured summer top, lovely floaty sleeves. Then there's the Top Boner by Olga Christina, and that is a lace top that has lovely lace again on the edge of the like a little cap, lace cap, and then flows out to a very floaty finish under the bust. And I've had them two on my list for quite some time, but I think they're a bit more ambitious. But I think it's about time I started trying out some different things and making things a bit more interesting. And it's also thinking about what I actually want or need in my wardrobe going forward for the summer and spring. The other thing I was thinking of getting yarn for, and maybe this will be the Isla yarn, is a Sunday Tee by Petite Knit. I quite fancy knitting that up. I think that one's a circular yoke. Yeah, circular yoke, which I've not done before. So I thought with this yarn that might be ideal for that. And I think that's everything I've written down on my list so far. I do like to go with a little bit of a list. I will obviously be looking out for a few single skeins, but I don't really need a lot. We shall see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots of lovely yarn there. I think there's about 26 sellers. There's a wonderful knitted bag seller, so I'm hoping I can get a bag from there. Other than that, I don't think I've got anything else that I need to say. I'm not sure what next week's video will be yet. Hopefully it will be a roundup of what I've done at the show. I'm going to try and get some footage, and then I'll probably do a yarn haul when I get back and show you what I've got. So hopefully that'll be up next weekend. And that's everything. Hope you have a good week. Happy knitting. Bye.